this, other than there was a chance that I would be auditioning for the band. So one thing led to another, which was Michael heard Back on the Streets, and he said, I like this song so much, let me give it to Gene and Paul and see what they say. And I remember waiting at home, I was literally looking at the telephone, you know, here's my number, you know, and I'm just watching the phone, you know. For days I'm watching the phone, and then he says, I remember getting this phone call, and he says, Vinnie, this is Michael James Jackson. And I said, yeah, you know, and the guys really loved the song, and we want you to come to the studio, and it was the record plant. And this is the way I remember it. So most of this is like still very crystal clear in my mind. And so I came to the studio, and one of the first songs that I'm recording for this record with Kiss in this studio was Back on the Streets. So that recording with Paul singing Back on the Streets still exists because it was originally recorded for the Creatures of the Night album. And I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, look, this is too big for my mind to handle. But at the same time, I felt I'm so right for this band, you know, even though the dream was bigger than me. You know, is life bigger than, you know, us, or are we bigger than life? It's hard to know, but this was bigger than life for me. But I felt in my heart that this was meant to be. And we just kept recording, and one thing led to another. Michael said, you know, this is a good match. I want you to write more songs with Gene and Paul. And I'm thinking, this is like not happening to me. This is happening to me, you know? And you just never really believe that you're doing this with people like this, that you've idolized all your life, you know? This was like somebody saying to me, in my world, you know, which is exactly what I experienced with them, but like George Martin saying, we want you to write with Paul McCartney and John Lennon, and it was like, no way, you know? So that was how it was for me. And you know, meeting them was, you know, at first it was, I feel like I know you because I feel like I'm what you want and what you need and what I can bring to the band. And then we began writing songs together, and then one thing led to another, which was the songs themselves, how they came to be. So I Love It Loud began to find its way, you know, as a completed song, and I'm thinking, this is the magic, you know, that I've always been looking for. And I couldn't believe it was happening, you know? And Paul and I began writing songs, and one of the first songs we wrote was I Still Love You. And I'm thinking, geez, this is incredible, you know? And you know, the clarity of all of this is so wonderful for me, because the memories are what we're all here for, you know? The music that Kiss left all of us with, and the great times, and the, you know, the years of us growing up, and how much we love this music. And this is really why I'm here, is to celebrate all of this with you. And it brings me back to these times, which were, you know, actually some of my happiest memories ever. So the songs were coming together and developing, and then while we were working together, while these songs were becoming songs, they were still having guitar players come in and audition. Is this what you remember me telling you? And each time somebody would come in, I'm thinking, oh, you know, this guy's got the job, you know, he's really great looking, you know. And I would say to Gene, well, this is after we got to know each other a little bit. I'd say, why don't you pick me? Because I'm writing the songs with you. I mean, we've got a magic, you know? Look at the songs Paul and I are writing, and you and I are writing, Killer was one of the 5 songs that we wrote together. And I said, well, this magic is happening, you know, why don't you pick me? I'm right for this band, you know. And I said, look at me playing, and I get on my knees, and he goes, don't get on your knees. It's like, okay, you know, you don't think so? No, it looks stupid. I go, okay, got it, you know. And I mean, they know best, what did I know, you know? And I was just, you know, still cooking spaghetti at home, you know, so what do I know? So, I mean, I think I ate that every night for, you know, for 6 months in a row, you know, because that was all we could afford. And so he said, no, you're too short. And I said, you're gonna let that stop you? Stop this band? I said, because I really think we're meant to be. And Gene's like, he's really a very, very special person, you know. I know, you know, he got kicked off Fox News for life, but there's word out there that he also got kicked off the Ed Sullivan Show for life, but if it ever comes back on again. But they'd have to get Ed Sullivan back before that happened. Now that was fun, that was a joke, so. But Gene is, if you're hearing me, Gene, you know how much I adore you. So, do you hear me, Gene? Gene, are you here? Are you here, Gene? Do you know how much I adore you or what? So, we had our downside for 20 years, and it was really unnecessary, but I adore him, and I also adore Paul. Without them, I would not be here talking to you, so they hold a really special place in my heart, in my life. So, anyway, so getting back to this story, and I'll try to sum it up quick. It kept saying, no, you're not right. We're looking for somebody 6 feet tall, and so we were still writing these songs, and every guitarist, literally all over the country, was walking through the recording studio, and every time I'd see somebody, I'd say, well, he's got the job, he's beautiful looking, you know, oh, this guy's, oh, look at him, he looks like a Greek god, he's got the job, you know. And then I'd look in the mirror and I go, you're not gonna get this job, look at you, you know. So I see these beautiful guys, I mean, absolutely beautiful guys, and so I would go home discouraged and think, oh, okay, I'll never get this. This went on for many months, and I finally recorded the record with them, and I went home, and they said, well, we're flying to New York, Vinnie, thanks for the work, the record sounds great. So I was home, and I was really discouraged. And now home to me was, you know, this little apartment. And Anne-Marie, who was my wife at the time, she's no longer with us. She's deceased. But she's the mother of my girls, and she was a really beautiful person, and she was my best friend. So she worked like 2 jobs supporting us in California. And you know, she saved my life in many ways. But she was pregnant, and I didn't know we were about to have twins. And we were still in California, and I get a call from I think it was from a tour manager, and said, the guys want you to come to New York and play another guitar solo for Keep Me Coming. I said, wow, really? You know, I said, really? So yeah, we want you back, so come on back. So here's a ticket, get on a plane. I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing, okay. And not knowing what was about to happen, I got to New York, and I remember Eric met me at the airport and took me to the hotel. I checked in, went right to the recording studio and started to, hear the song. And I think about a day later, the solo was born. It was finished, and everybody seemed really happy. So I get, thanks, Vin. It was really good. I think we really had a great track, and everybody's really happy. And good luck. I said, "Aw, really? Really? You sure? Yeah. Good luck. Eric will take you to the airport." So I said, "Well, thanks a lot. All my best." And this was like the greatest experience of my life. Did you remember in this the way I told it yesterday?
What I remember is the phone call that you got.
The phone call.
That got everybody choked up.
Well, the phone call was Eric took me to the airport to go home, and I said, "Well, thanks a lot, Eric. This was like such a great time, and I'll never forget it." So I'm walking on the airport. I'm walking onto the plane to board the plane, and I just look back. I remember I see him. He goes, Vinnie, don't get on the plane." I'm like, "What? Come on back. So I come back, and the way I remember it was, he says, "Gene wants to talk to you." So Gene says to me, "Listen, we want you to stick around here. We want to have we want to play live. We want you to play in the rehearsal studio with us and see how it goes." And I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, we'll put you up for a couple days, and let's rehearse at SIR." And I said, "Oh, wow. Okay, great. Wow. So we rehearsed for a couple of days, and I thought, gee, this is sounding so great. And then he says, "Well, thanks, Vin. We'll call you. Don't worry. We'll see what happens, and we're gonna rehearse. We're gonna audition some other guitar players." So I said, "Oh, wow. Okay, thanks. I had a great time. Thanks so much. I'll never forget this." So Eric will take you to the airport. So, get in the car with Eric, and he takes me to the airport. He says, "Don't worry, Vin, everything will be all right, okay?" I said, "Yeah, well, all right, okay." Well, I said, "You have my number, you know where to call me, right?" Yeah, we'll call. So I'm getting back, I go back to Los Angeles, and go back to my apartment. Now I'm there, now I'm really, I don't know what to think. So most of me had thought, God, I wrote these songs, we got the magic, but then Gene says I'm too short, and it's not gonna work. So then we rehearse. And I thought, this is all going so well. And then I get the call again. One more call, I'll never forget this. And I think it was Gene. It was Gene. He said, "Vin, we want you to join the band." Now, the call came at the moment I am in the bathtub taking a bath. And, it was like a real simple tub, but I said, "I need a bath. I gotta get clean here, And I wasn't home long. And he said, "We want you to come back to New York. Get on the next plane, and you're gonna be in the band. You're gonna be our new guitarist." And I went, so that was it. And as much as I could repeat it from yesterday, that was it. But it was a long time of the I don't know, looking at Anne-Marie being pregnant, and we had nothing. We had nothing. We didn't have, we had a car that was like a 1965. I'll never forget this. It was a Dodge Dart, and there was no floor in the car, and we had no way to think that there was a dream that could be, that would find me. But with all of the pieces, God must have wanted it to work. Otherwise, it never would have. But